Hi, I'm AndrewQuo. I make YouTube videos. I have over 100,000 subscribers, and I like to have fun on the internet. So it started off where I was just doing vlogs. Actually, my channel started growing about a year and a half ago when I put out a relationship video saying like how to talk to your crush. And I saw it get more views than any of my videos had ever gotten. And so I was like, wow, this is something that, you know, I guess not enough people are talking about or something. I guess it's not like a big thing on YouTube yet. Now it's a huge thing, but I guess I was on the big upswing of that. And so that really helped grow my channel. And then it became something that I knew I could do. Like, you know, the issue for a lot of YouTubers, I think, is they don't know what they want to create. And for me, I was given a direction because I saw, you know, a whole genre of videos that worked. And so I thought, how do I find more things in this field that I want to talk about that I can turn into something people want to see. And after over, I don't know, an amount of time, I've gotten kind of bored of just sitting there and talking to it, and I wanted to change it up. So I wanted to do sketch comedy again. As I said, that was the very first thing I did, and there's been years that have passed when I wasn't doing it. But you know, now that I knew I had this audience through vlogging, I wanted to incorporate sketches and make it more fun, both to edit, to film, just to view also. And yeah, that's what I'm doing now, and I'm really happy with it. I mean, it's still a vlog. Like it keeps cutting back to me talking about what I'm talking about, and the skits are really just to like make my point. Like I'll I don't know, accentuate a joke of some sort, but to still make it, you know, relatable, and if anything, put in a situation that people might have had something similar happen to them. So I think if anything, it's more relatable. I think that other people were doing similar things. I think, you know, sitting down and talking to a camera wasn't a new concept, not at all. If anything, I was just copying that. The audience is the same as the majority, like, YouTube audience. I think it's largely, you know, girls, and a couple years ago I think they were mostly teenagers. I think they're actually getting older now, and they're looking for people who are a little more mature and not like, you know, just a 16-year-old kind of pretty boy type of thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that, you know, it appealed to them because they were going through things where, you know, there's a guy that they like and they're wondering, you know, do they like you back? Or anything when it comes to relationships, you know, like, I have a bad relationship with my parents, like what do? You know, like I'm scared of doing this. Like, I feel like what I talk about is something that, you know, a lot of people actually look up, and I try and make it as applicable to everybody as possible. So I think that there's always going to be an audience for that. It's kind of like, yeah, I mean, to answer both of them, I have done that in the past. Typically, it's kind of a funny process because I'm becoming more and more familiar with what will work and what won't, because I've uploaded videos that actually got, like, for me, a very poor amount of views, and so I'm careful to try and not do that while still making whatever I want. And so the key thing that I have to do is make sure that the title is something that is very searchable and, you know, the tags are good. Like, for example, I don't even know if this is a video that I'm gonna do, but there was a video that I was considering the idea of, and it was based around the fact that in the past I've been scared to do things on my own. Like, if I'm gonna try skydiving or something, I'll ask my friend, like, hey, does anybody want to do this with me? And if none of them say yes, then I'll be like, oh, maybe I'll like try it later. That sort of thing, you know. I'm scared to start something new without help. And I started on YouTube, you know, with a group of friends, but it would be about basically overcoming that sort of idea. And I thought I would title it, instead of the fear of like being alone or like not having people to work with, just like, you know, my greatest fear, or something that applies to more people and, you know, they would want to see. I think engaging your audience is a really weird concept, because you can be a YouTuber and you can, you know, grow and have, hell, 1 million subscribers, and you could have never engaged really with your audience. Like, I mean, it depends on how you define engage, but like to just put out videos, I don't consider is engaging. Like, for them to relate to you, it's like a one-way street. It's not like you're coming to them and, you know, doing the same thing. I think if anything, the majority of my engagement happened in the last few months where I started doing shows, which I think is way more engaging than a YouTube video, because people can come and talk to me, and I can like read their comments. And then as a result of that, it would also translate to Twitter, and I've started like DMing people on Twitter a lot more, just to like talk to them. And you know, a lot of people like freak out just because it's a YouTuber that they watch, and YouTubers don't usually talk to their audience, and that's what I think is like real engagement. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I, necessarily have that type of niche. I think it kind of applies to anybody who, is willing to take answers from a stranger on the internet. That's really the only qualification that you need to enjoy my videos. And that's not just limited to girls. I have like guys who watch me, and I talk to them on Twitter, and I'm not, favoring anybody. It's just, anybody who wants help on something they've gone through. Maybe somebody else on the internet has done the same thing. Yeah, I like that. I would call myself, the internet's big brother. I think it's who you are that creates like that genuine feel and how you talk to the camera. It's not just the fact that you are talking to the camera. Talking to a camera on its own, I mean, yeah, okay, to some extent you'll connect more, because if you were to watch a sitcom or something, no one's gonna look at the camera. And so definitely the reason people go to YouTube is to connect more like that, but in the world of vloggers, like that's not even far enough. I think that, yeah, being genuine is really important, and it's more than just talking to the camera. It's actually, showing, I guess, your audience that you're a human being, and that, you make mistakes and you have problems and you go through these things, but, ultimately it's something that can be handled. Honestly, I don't think there's a big difference between vlogging and diaries. I think when you write in a diary, you're not showing your whole self. You're showing, your deepest kind of concerns. Like you're writing the side that you want to talk about. What bothers you through the day. And I think YouTube is no different. I think when I vlog, I'm talking about something that I want to talk about. And yeah, I'm not showing the whole me. Of course, I'm not showing the whole me, because I'm trying to convey a message, and it wouldn't, come across as well if I was also talking about how, I'm super clumsy, in addition to like whatever advice I'm giving. Like, it just doesn't help. I'm trying to stay on, the focus of one thing. So it's really just filtering yourself to get one point across. And I'll show every piece of me over the course of many videos, because I'll keep talking about different things that happen in my life, and that's how you'll get like the greater picture. But yeah, I think, yeah. Well, as I said, a couple months ago, I started doing these shows, and that translated to Twitter. And now I'm, very social with the people that, have followed me through those steps. Aside from that, people have commented on my videos saying that I've helped them, but that's not really like a two-way street. It's more like they're leaving comments saying that my videos have helped. But it goes another level when people, come to my and ask me for advice, and I like talk them, through each person's individual problem sometimes, or they'll message me on Twitter, and I've definitely talked people down from, doing things that they would regret, I guess, and I do care about these people, because without them, like, I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't, lead the life that I live, or be happy. So yeah, I think I definitely head on, I've helped people, and it's super rewarding. Actually, yesterday I did a broadcast, and the day before, like 30 people tweeted me saying like, we have a surprise for you at the broadcast, and this has never happened before, and so I was kind of freaking out. And during the broadcast, like, they linked me a video that was like, everybody came together and put in, either a message or like a little video clip or like photos or something of me, and it made me tear up. It was so cute. I've never like had anything like that. So it's a reminder that even though I might not always know it, I am helping people, and it's really rewarding to know that. I think the relationship just comes from me wanting to have that relationship and wanting to help people individually, and reaching out to people. I think that a lot of people told me that other YouTubers don't personally talk to each subscriber one-on-one, which is something that I try and do. Not necessarily. I think it all depends on YouTube's algorithm, and that changes a lot, much to a lot of people's dismay. It worked for me. Like, I was in the what to watch section. That's how I've gained like the majority of my subscribers, because it was content that people were looking for. But I don't think engagement has to be important depending on the type of YouTuber that you want to be. For example, there's a guy who lives in Toronto, Matthew Santoro. He's a huge YouTuber, and all things considered, as far as big YouTubers go, he's more engaging than most. But his content isn't about him and isn't relatable. It's interesting facts, and I actually love his videos, and I watch them like all the time, more than I watch vloggers. But it's not the type of thing that relies on engagement. It's more like people are just interested and want to see that. ASAP Science as well, same sort of thing, where they just talk about something that people want to know about. Whereas for me, I think engagement is important because I'm not trying to sell my advice. I don't think my advice is like 100% perfect, but I'm trying to sell myself. I'm the person giving the advice. I'm explaining why this advice has worked for me, and hopefully when somebody subscribes, it's because they like me and not just the single question that they were asking that I answered. I think when I address a problem, and I don't know if this has always been the case, but I think at least recently I've been actively trying to do this. When I talk about a problem that I've had or something, I make it about me and not about the problem itself. Like, my newest video that I'm going to be putting out next week is about like how to be confident, and that's the title, and it sounds like it's me giving listing instructions on how to be confident, but it's really going to be talking about how I went from being shy to being confident. So, the tips are there, but it's about me, and it's about what I did, and hopefully it's something that people can relate to, or at least see a little bit in themselves. And I think that's what I was trying to do, is I talk about, struggles that I've had, because I really have no shame, and I'll say things that, other people might be embarrassed to talk about, but, if it'll relate to somebody, I think it's worth a shot.